It's been 6 years of podcasting, and without our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to bring these podcasts to you. So I want to thank today's sponsors. And first off, we have the Pretentious Pickle Company of 190 Water Street in Plymouth. If you haven't had a chance to get down there, go down and check out what they make. They have everything pickled you can imagine, from pickled beets to carrots to mushrooms to onions to Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. They even have pickled or pickled flavor cotton candy, I should say. They make it fresh there every day, and you can go in there and check out what they have to offer. And if you're not in the Plymouth area, you can go to pretentiouspickle.com and check out what they have to offer there as well, and they will ship it out to you. Their stuff is delicious. You should check it out, and they are big fans of ours, and we are big fans of theirs. So thank you to the Pretentious Pickle Company for sponsoring today's episode. And our second sponsor today is Moonrise Cinemas. Moonrise Cinemas is a new drive-in in Plymouth, right on the Plymouth-Kingston line. They are located at 428 Court Street in Plymouth, Mass. And they offer a great selection of movies. You can go. It's very family-friendly. I went and checked out the Goonies there. They've had Marvel movies, a wide variety of stuff. And they're really starting to expand. They have had the Rocky Horror Picture Show this coming year. They're doing music on Thursday nights. On Wednesdays are going to be 420 friendly events. So make sure you check out what they have to offer. MoonriseCinemas.com. It's a great venue. They have a beer garden. They have their own food. Their food's phenomenal. And they're bringing back their French toast, which I'm very excited about. So make sure you check out what they have to offer, MoonriseCinemas.com. And if you use code INEBRIART when purchasing tickets, you'll get 10% off. So make sure you go to MoonriseCinemas.com to get your tickets for movies, concerts, and more. And use code INEBRIART for 10% off on your purchase. And now let's jump right into the podcast. All right, welcome back to the Bar Talk podcast. I am Andy of Inebriart. I am joined today. It's such a formal. Normally, there's like a bunch of nonsense. Oh, you know what it is? Because normally I don't know when fish starts.
You can't force the nonsense.
I know, but because I'm like, normally there's like all sorts of bullshit. No, but like going in before the announcement, because I don't know.
Oh, there's always like heckling and
right, because it's like I'm not paying attention.
Right.
Because I'm not running the computer, but Fish isn't here.
He's trying to catch us saying something we're not supposed to be saying.
Yeah. So I am Andy of Inebriart, and I am joined today by Dan Mahoney of Stats of South Boston.
What up?
Karl Heine of the New World Tavern.
Hello, everybody.
And Tolson's Tap and Tavern.
In Pembroke.
In Pembroke, Mass.
Go.
Do you have an opening date on that?
Mid-April, by the time this comes out.
Yeah, nice.
We should be open.
Then we are joined by the Chabot twins.
No, why not?
Jordan and Ryan.
Both of Speedwell Tavern.
Both Speedwell.
What's
going on?
Psyched.
So Ryan's been wanting to get on the show for a while, and finally bribed me with enough money to do it.
Let's go.
So, it only makes sense that we're going to talk about working with family, siblings, spouses, working with people you like. Or your spouse.
Or working with people by necessity.
Let's just say family.
Family, yeah. But I think friends can close friends can fall into that.
Never hire your friends.
Yeah.
It'll never go well.
One.
I seem to be doing pretty well at Speedwell. I've hired nothing but friends, I think, for the first half we were open, right?
And then all you do is bitch and moan when you have to fire them.
Yeah.
A lot of them became your friends through the industry, though.
True.
If you think
Correct.
about it.
But how many people did you know hired them, took care of them, and then they left, and maybe not in a good way?
About half.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that left that was friends before I was like in the restaurant industry or at least running a restaurant, we're still friends. But the people that I've met through it, and we kind of like got exhausted of each other, or just like for whatever reason the relationship got jaded. Usually the relationship started because they worked for me, and then we became friends because of that. And then as we kind of like outgrew each other.
So none of your friendships have been ruined with people that you were friends before you hired them?
No, I don't think so. I mean, no, I wouldn't say so. Like,
Would they say so?
probably.
Pull up his Yelp page.
Not true yet.
It is. I mean, it's tough, man, because especially when like you're the manager owner, you're not just the manager answering to another boss. Like, you got to do what's best for the business and the rest of the staff. So even though you have a strong relationship or friendship with somebody, if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, if they're undermining you or just not pulling their weight, or maybe the job's not for them, you got to make that tough call. But you find out who your real friends are after you make those decisions, in my opinion. And I like your approach. Sometimes you just avoid that altogether.
Right.
Separate church and state. You know
Because
what I
Karl
mean?
has no friends.
None of my friends want to work.
only when we need something.
Yeah.
I'm friendly with Karl in case I need to borrow Jack cheese.
Yeah. It's
I don't think
funny.
you can say Jack cheese.
Why? Can you not? I believe you at this point.
I don't know what you can say anymore, Kyle.
So when I worked at Home Depot, I became really good friends with someone who worked for me, to the point where they're still one of my best friends. And the hardest part about it was everyone else's view of what was going on.
Right.
That was
right,
easily the hardest thing.
Absolutely.
And I spent so much time like defending myself to the boss, being like, I'm not giving this person special treatment. No, I'm not sleeping with her.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. People think that.
Oh yeah.
Special treatment.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it was a giant pain in the ass.
For a long time, I felt that way. Working for Jord, I've always worked for him. The past
15 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 or 4 different jobs, whether it be at the Venus, Rosali.
Cardoz's.
Forgot about that one. Now at Speedwell. Something that's always on my mind that, people, there's that view of me, I can kind of get away with murder. I can do whatever I want. And it's not like that. It's actually quite the opposite. I've had plenty of experiences with Jord where, I thought I could get away with some bullshit. And no, he was a little bit harder on me than he was on the rest of the staff. And, that's for a reason. Over time, I understood that now. But no, I'm saying, I'm trying to hold myself accountable by saying that. I was trying to get away with bullshit, and I've learned a lot through that experience. And now I feel like it makes me work a little bit harder because I want to avoid that, avoid that whole image. So
you also get a little
bit
added,
more,
we've been talking about a lot more, because Rye just came on full time, pretty much in the kitchen, and you're full time in the kitchen. You're essentially self-managing, like you're part of the people that are running that kitchen. But Rye gets this little extra pressure because things that the guys don't necessarily feel comfortable coming to me for, like issues or something they don't see working. Because I'm not actually side by side with them. Rye is almost every day. They go to him because they know kind of it's going to pipeline to me.
So he's kitchen therapist.
Yeah. So he's just trying to go in and fry food and get the fuck out of there. But he's become the kitchen therapist, like having drinks after the shift and stuff like that. So it's also kind of like that added pressure. So you get it like, oh, he gets away with everything, and then B, you get it like, oh, I can talk to him like a manager, even though he's not getting paid that way. So there is sort of a disadvantage for you to kind of come into that situation.
Well, how much pressure is it for you, Ryan, to work for your brother who owns the business? Does he come to you and say, listen, I'm really short on Friday night, you got to work it for me? Does he expect that because you're the brother you'll do more? Or are you treated more as an employee?
A little of both. Because he knows he can rely on me. So it's one of those things where it's easier to ask. It's probably easier to ask me to cover, something tough. Like, all right, listen, I'm really in a tough spot here. How I know a little bit more of the ins and outs because I talk to him.
Say no?
Absolutely.
I got a hot take.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not often when I do, and even if I do have some shit going on aside from Speedwell, I don't want to say obligated, but I kind of feel a little obligated to do it. You know what I mean? Not only do I want to back you up, but at the same time, I don't want to say no to you. You know what I mean?
And I'll refrain from asking you because I know your personal
And then
life.
it goes that way too. You know what I mean?
So I'll know either he's exhausted or he's got shit going on or he's been looking forward to this day off for whatever reason because we talk as brothers too.
Yeah.
So I'll need coverage on a Friday night and Rye's got Friday night off and I'm like, can't fucking text Rye. I'm not. I'd rather work it than do that to him. You know what I mean? Because I don't want. I know he's gonna feel guilty, and then even if he says no, he's gonna sit at home all day thinking about how he said no. So I'll refrain texting him for that. And then there's a situation where we have family events, and we both need the fucking day off.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a whole other set of bullshit.
We got used to that though.
Yeah, we
Same-
kind of
same
figured
shit.
that out.
But there's got to be a little added benefit where it's, it's one thing to have a dedicated employee, but it's got to be another thing when it's a spouse, sibling, friend that's like, oh, if this business fails, that's my brother's livelihood or my spouse's livelihood or my livelihood. So it's got to be like a little extra buy-in, kind of. Not necessarily ownership, but like.
Yeah, I mean, with the way Speedwell's going, it's a unique situation. I've never really felt like, we were in a situation where I'd be out of a job or things would go south with Speedwell. I think that's a testament to both Jord and Plymouth as a community. Everybody who keeps supporting us and keeps us above water, So yeah, I never really felt that, Never really felt that pressure.
You do come in with like an added pride, though. I feel like you come in.
I do now.
You're gonna say
I
attitude.
I do now.
You come in with an attitude. I'm like, oh, here we go.
It wasn't always
come
like
in-
that.
You come in like you look around the building and be like even though it's not your job, you treat it like it's your own.
Yeah.
A lot of the staff does that. You know what I mean? In their own way, but I'd say there's a little bit more of it with you where you come in and like you're not like, oh, this is my boss's building, I got to take care of it. You're like, no, it's my brother's building.
Right.
I got to take care of it. So there is a lot
And
of
eventually
that.
Jolie's building. which
And eventually,
means a lot.
yeah, if I can keep it afloat for
You're
another.
putting a lot of words in your brother's mouth there.
Yeah, it's his first time on the cast. I'm guiding him along.
Appreciate that.
Usually he's doing it to us anyway. So.
First time jitters.
Yeah, I don't know how many times he hit his pen before.
So
he
Ryan,
walked
how do
in.
you feel?
I gotta
Jordan?
lie.
He feels like this.
If you don't
feels
know,
so I pay him to
am
feel.
very protective
Talk to
of
my
Ryan.
lawyer.
I am very protective. But yeah, either way, it's. I always say it's kind of like having a clone. Brian and I's relationship's a little bit different, I think, than most brothers. Where we're so close in age, we're like basically Irish twins. We have all the same hobbies. Like we just get along really well for the most part. Even when we don't, we kind of just fucking make fun of each other about it. So the working relationship sort of emulates that same brotherly relationship where I have like a clone. Like we speak a different language. We don't have to speak to each other to know something has to get done. We can vent to each other and know that the rest of the staff's not going to hear it. So that's good because he's actually living it with me. So it's kind of like having a cheat code, I'll be honest with you, which is why I'm very protective of it because I don't want to lose that situation. It's a comfort level and it's a big part of why Speedwell's successful. So
Ryan, what does he say about the staff?
I'm sorry?
What does he say about the staff?
I can't say that yet. I can't.
Gotta wait for Ryan's book to come out.
Come on, man. I got the rule
I
book
talk
before we
shit about
started.
all of them and then I buy them all parking passes. You know what I mean? It's very inconsistent.
Well, now we talked a little bit about friends, family, and siblings. Let's take that one step further. You have a bartender that says, "Hey, my sister needs a job, or my brother needs a job, or my kid needs a job." How many times have you hired somebody that they said was a good worker and it didn't work out? How uncomfortable is that?
We've had some good ones. We've had some good ones come through, but I can't. There's only been like 2 or 3, maybe.
There's a couple I can think of, like in the kitchen, where we've brought in like a friend, and it hasn't worked out. But for the most part, I don't blame the employee. It's so hard to hire right now. So like, if one of the staff members is willing to put their neck out and bring in someone they know, I don't blame them if that person doesn't work out. It's kind of just like whatever.
Yeah, but now you got to go and you got to let that person go, fire that person. Is the person who recommended him saying, "Oh, what are you firing him for? He's doing fine."
And that's
Well,
happened
not really.
too.
Yeah,
Like I don't think
Yeah,
they don't
that's
see it from the
happened.
same point of view.
Yeah.
As you.
that has happened, and it did that ended ugly. We're a no-name podcast, but I think anybody that's been to Speedwell over the last 5 years probably knows. But yeah, we've had siblings work together, and where one wasn't working out, and then he had to kind of make that move. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, it was probably top 5, one of the most uncomfortable situations I've been in since I've, started as a restaurant owner. We've had people be in relationships where,
Well,
that's been
There's
tough.
another
you know
thing
what I
too.
mean?
I mean, at New World Tavern, everybody dates and marries everybody else.
Yeah,
Right.
We don't have too much.
You know what I mean?
You've been an
We've
introvert.
had it. Sorry.
Yeah. Listen,
We've had it 2 or 3 times.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
What happens when that does happen? Bartender marries bartender. One bartender doesn't work out. You got to fire somebody's wife or husband
Right.
that works there. And,
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing.
I think the
And
risk you
it's
take.
nothing you can really do to say,
Yeah.
well, you guys can't get married and work here.
Right.
Right.
You know, if they're already working there, you would imagine that you're okay with their work ethics. But what happens when one of the spouses pisses you off and you want to fire them?
Right.
It's all of a sudden you're thinking, okay, do I have to let both of them go? Do I
Or am I going to let one go and the other going to leave?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
That's you bring
Bunch of
in one with the potential to lose two.
Or
you
do
know
you
what I mean?
just
Is it
not
worth
want
it?
to get involved at all and just let it ride because you don't want to rock that boat and actually have any of that happen?
It's hard.
So then, yeah, it's not as easy as you think.
Yeah, it's
and not
hard.
that it happens every single time. You know,
Right.
even if it was 90% okay, it's that 10% that you got to really deal with, and that's where you're going to get a lot of problems.
Yep.
Have you ever had kind of the opposite where...
That's why I don't believe in hypnotism.
All right, continue.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a pin in my question.
Let's go with this.
Now, you don't believe it in it?
Hypnotism.
Elaborate.
Some kind of tism.
You didn't think we were going to call you on that. Thank you, Dan.
Nepotism, you know where you cluck like a chicken? Jesus Christ. What the hell was I going to say? So has it ever gone the other way? Where, you know, Joe Schmo says, oh, you need to hire my friend. They're great. You hire them. They are great. And then they have a falling out, and now you have two people who are both good workers but can't work together?
Yeah, we've had that.
Have we?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can't do it. Yeah.
I mean, I get what the hell. I don't care. I honestly don't because I know they wouldn't care either.
Right.
What Martelli was the bar manager, and
Okay,
we
yeah.
brought on friend of the show, Chris Almeida.
Yep.
And they were
True.
really getting along well. But Chris brought a different sort of experience level to bartending, and it was kind of where the culture was going. Craft cocktails, drinks that were overpriced, mixologists. Everybody on this show knows how much I love that. And it put this added pressure on Chris, who stuck his neck out and brought in Almeida. But Almeida was just trying to help. And it came like an overstepping thing, and them two just started clashing. And then Chris kind of stepped down as manager. He was doing his own thing, selling beer anyway. Chris Martelli, there's two Chris's here. And then Almeida sort of started getting tired of the job, got a little angry, had a bad night, and we just kind of severed ways, and he'll tell you the story himself. But yeah, they had that was tough. And we had to like sit down and have a meeting like in my apartment across the street and like basically talk everything out.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was one of another top 5 uncomfortable moments. So you're starting to see a pattern here.
I came
And
back
all
together
Jordan
though
is
in
thinking, I
Providence.
Yeah, it
just
did.
want people to bartend. Can't we just bartend?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That is a lot of it's an ego clash thing, and it comes out more when there's a comfortable relationship. Like if there's already a comfortable social relationship, the ego clash happens. If it's two people that don't necessarily know each other but maybe have big egos, they're not comfortable enough to really go at each other like that. So you kind of just see them stay in each other's lane, stay out of each other's lane. So yeah, that is the overcomplication of hiring friends and family there too, where that's why I say Ryan and I's relationship is so unique, because with work stuff, we don't clash. We don't really clash on anything. But with work stuff especially, we know where to draw the line, where other situations where there've been romantic relationships or friend relationships, I think it's always had an awkward moment every time it's been something like that. Not necessarily family, but the relationship shit seems to draw out the worst in people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially at the pressure work.
Yeah, it tends to divide the staff too. You know, if you think
absolutely.
about
Oh, 'cause
it, you know,
everyone's
staff
pick
ends up
sides,
banding
yep.
against you. Everybody's watching you every move. You know, I mean, I dealt with that personally. You know, and in retrospect, you know, it was a bad decision on my choice. But yeah, I'll never do that again. But yeah, it
they all
definitely
say,
makes for a
Ryan.
hectic work environment, man. You know, for everybody.
Yeah, and you have-
Sometimes
oh, sorry.
friends outside the business, either, you know, you made them through the business, but may not work with them. I think that, like, I have a lot of friends that I would never have work for me, because I know we would not get along if, not that their work ethic is bad or mine is better than theirs, but we would clash, and I know that. So sometimes keeping friendships outside of the workplace stays outside of work.
Well, you're friends because you're equals, right? Like, you're both the same person. You can be individuals. As soon as you bring work into the dynamic and you're the owner, you become the superior to your friend. And that is where
But
it's...
they don't see that. They see, hey,
I think
working
I'm
at my
superior to all
buddy's
my
place
friends anyways.
Well, there's nothing on paper saying that to you.
You know, we had a few people approach us, asking us. You know, Heap at one point was like, "Yo, put me in the kitchen. I'll do whatever you need me to do." And I think a lot of that was because Jordan and I paint this picture online of, you know, it looks fun. We do the chest bump thing after clearing the board. And people see that and are like, oh, you know, they must just hang out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just have fun back
Yep.
there and do that thing. And so we've had a couple of our buddies like, oh, hire us. We want to do it. We'll work however many hours. And, you know, it was just something that you couldn't couldn't really go with.
And all they
you
want to
know,
do is
just-
really hang out.
Exactly.
Oh, they don't see the chip on the shoulder we both have. Where we come in and we're like, we're gonna do double the prep list and
Yeah,
show
yeah,
these
yeah.
motherfuckers who's lost. Like, and that's what we really do. And
Right.
like, we get really quiet and just work really hard on Sunday mornings, and like that's our shift. Been our shift since pretty much day one.
That's the video you put out next week. It's the pre-shift video.
Yeah. Fuck this
Yeah,
fucking
just
prep
get,
list. Show the
You
prep
don't
list.
want
chest bumps
to
me
hear the
more.
shit we talk about before the shift.
No, you definitely don't. That's a whole separate podcast.
So, yeah.
But I mean, that's such a great point because I mean, I've seen friends work together, and it's that you have someone that destroys it, and you bring in their friend, and then their friend like hangs out and distracts the person, and you're like, you know, I went from having a good employee to having a mediocre employee and his friend, and it's
Right.
Well, with that,
it's
you
a-
can work around. Oh, it depends how big your restaurant is. For us,
Yeah.
I've had friends work for him. It's like, you're not working the same shifts. Like, that's it. Like, you can break it up that way.
Yeah.
But where you guys are a little smaller, you don't have that option. a
Do
lot
you
of
run
times.
into, well, you're nice and big, so you have a lot of people working all at the same time. Like, I would think something like that if we had, like, a relationship and I was trying to split people up, it'd be like, oh, you get to work a day shift just because you're in a relationship? Like, people fight over day shifts in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm accommodating the relationship, but I'm also not being fair schedule-wise to everybody else
Yep.
because of it. So what, I just got to bang somebody to work days? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It runs into that situation. It sounds like you have enough
We don't
staff where-
guarantee shifts anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah. Do you change your
Well, I mean,
schedule every week?
that was
or-
one of the reasons you went
For the
down
most
to
part,
stats.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons you went down to stats, because you didn't know anybody.
yeah, I wanted to get the fuck out of where I knew everyone in town and I could go enjoy my life.
Shit where you
Makes
eat.
sense, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Separation of church and state.
You never see it. There we go. Second time. Is that the name of the episode?
Probably is now.
Yeah, it's the second time it's came up. And that's another thing too. You don't see me in town late night anymore and stuff like that. Like, this is as social as I really get down here, unless I'm going to like a charity event or something like that. But that's very important, and I think that helps with hiring. Is now all of a sudden the generation has turned over. I'm hiring people that are 10 years younger than I was 10 years ago, and I don't know them all anymore.
Right.
I'm not friends with them on Facebook because young kids don't use Facebook anymore. I'm old. I'm a grandpa, so you know, it's that's kind of been helpful and sort of a what's the word? Unintentional sort of result of not being around and social and drinking and bar hopping and hiring from bar hopping. Like, I hired Jessie because I met her at a bar thing. That worked out great.
But there is that problem too, where either it doesn't matter if you're an owner or not. Just say you're the hiring person and you're looking for help, and you get that other person that's drinking at the bar saying, "Oh, I'll work for you and I'll do this," and you got to say, "No, why don't you just stay a customer?" But it's hard to do that when you have the regulars that are saying, "Oh, I'll work here, I'll work
right,
here,"
right.
and you really don't want to hire any regulars because
Because you could lose a customer.
it's you're gonna lose a customer. It could
Lose
be
a
a
couple.
relationship,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
usually when you see these people, it's after a few drinks, and you're like, maybe I don't really want to work here. Probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
But they say, well, why wouldn't you hire me? So that's where I think too a lot of relationship issues are going to happen. It doesn't have to be friends or family. It could be that regular to the bartender.
So glad you bring up regulars, because I was thinking that earlier. We were talking about relationships, and sometimes you have employees get into relationships with regulars. They're bartending,
Yeah.
they're single. Regular comes in, and then that happens. So then we've talked about that a bunch of times. Do you let them come in, let them sit at their bar during their shifts, all that, and that's a whole other.
You should hire Bobby. He's here every day drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, we've had our share of issues there too. It's funny. We kind of have like it's sort of like an unspoken of don't hire a regular rule. Like, I feel like someone will say that, it'll get back to me, and I'll just say like, just tell them we don't do that. Like, it's just not, we don't want to penalize you because you come here all the time eating and drinking, but at the same time, it's
And then
just
they're all pissed off because you didn't hire them.
Right.
So now you just lost a regular.
So you could just say consistently across the board, it isn't you personally, it's just anybody that comes in here often. That's just not the direction we go in.
and even if
I just say, Jordan's hiring, go see him.
Hey, right now, please do.
Yeah, right.
I'll hire your regulars.
but even if it goes well, you're still probably going to lose a customer because that person's going to work there and get off work and be like, well, I don't want to hang out at work and drink anymore.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we just hired Corey, who's been amazing, and he
Yeah.
used to be a regular of ours. And,
Right.
And I had a conversation with him, I would say a little over a month ago, and he's like, "Yeah, back when I used to hang out and drink here," and I'm like, "Used to? Like, what do you mean?" He's like, "Dude, I can't do that. I got to get out of this building as soon as I possibly can
Yeah,
now."
yeah, man.
So, I mean, I would take Corey as the employee over 10 Corys as the regular, to be completely honest with you, because he's that good. But that isn't always the case.
Right.
You end up you get a bad employee out of a regular, and then you fire him, and you, like you were saying, you lose both. So
Yeah. So where you and Ryan work together, your family, you both do the wiffle ball thing, whatever
We certainly do the
Sounds so
wiffle ball.
judgmental.
You don't have to
Whatever
throw
that
thing
is.
in there. Like, we certainly do the wiffle ball.
You can just call it the wiffle ball.
I know, but everyone like
just say wiffle.
all my
Why is
hobbies
there
are not
Isn't it
sports,
saying,
and people always
Facebook.
Yeah.
No, but like my hobbies aren't sports, so people are like,
glad
oh, you
we're
do
doing
that
the
thing.
podcast right
now.
It actually worked.
Do you ever get to that point where you're like, I don't need to see Ryan today?
No.
Because I'll tell you, me and Fish started off as friends, became really good friends. Now we're business partners, and there'll be days where we're like, all right, radio silence for 2 days.
I think that just kind of happens naturally.
I don't want to hear from you.
I think when that does happen, it is because of wiffle ball.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, it's never happened because of work.
It's
But we'll be like in like the 5th inning or something, like arguing about a rule change or something like that, and
Or gloating, mostly.
or gloating.
Yeah, you can't. It's a gentleman's game. There's a no gloating rule.
There'll be like an hour where we won't talk to each other. We'll just get up there, and then we're super competitive at that point, because you just want to, stick
fuck
it
the
to
other guy,
fuck you, dude. And then later on, the game's over, we're having a drink, and then we're just like, dude, let's just get
Oh, it's going to be a sober season this year. We'll see what the blow-ups. We'll have a beer to fucking soften the blow later on.
I get the ninja focus.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, wiffle ball, I think, is the closest time we come to ever fucking, like, straight up fighting. There's been straight up times where we've left the park not saying a word to each other, and then we won't talk for, like, 2 or fucking 3 days. And then one of us will, like, say something, like, via text, or, like, shoot the other one, like,
Just some shade,
what's up, you
dude.
still being a
Yeah.
Sorry for the use of the word, but we use it in a brotherly way.
Jeez.
He's gonna be the first one to get bleeped besides you,
I was
Karl.
gonna say Carl's not the only one to get bleeped now.
I meant in English, we call each other an English cigarette. There's nothing wrong with that.
Dan, have you ever had any, like, have you worked with friends? I mean,
I've worked with like my younger brother, but not in like it's the same position like that. And then like I've worked with like a girlfriend at the time, and she did not like that I didn't give her special treatment.
yeah.
So, but I try not to. Like I wouldn't work with Alicia because I'll fight her.
And lose.
Yeah, I feel like he would lose.
She was in yesterday, and we were waiting for you to show up, and
Yeah.
we're like, all of a sudden we saw you check in at TD Garden. It was like, oh, he's at the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was my Uber ride yesterday.
She must have been sitting at Speedwell waiting for you to call.
Yep.
Yeah, it was around like, what, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh no, she just left. She didn't pick me up till far later, unfortunately, for her and me. And this podcast.
I was gonna say,
This is great
You made it
podcast
home
content.
safe.
Yeah.
and Karl, now you got a new place. Is it harder because you've been in the business and you have a lot of acquaintances or friends? Like,
No, it's easier now
okay,
because
because it's a new area.
my friends are older and they don't want to work for me.
Yeah.
A lot of them will help. If there's an event going on and they say, hey, I'll come in and help you out and do this or that. But yeah, nobody wants to work for me. Never mind my friends.
They helped y'all out during the pandemic and shit.
Yeah, they
which was
will.
good.
They will
Yeah.
come and help.
Short-term help.
And I have I have a lot of local friends, so I mean they're always willing to. I can always get somebody if I need somebody in a pinch to do something.
Yeah.
But to hire, yeah, I'm all right. And I think they know.
Yeah.
They know that. Again, we'll help. You pay them a couple of beers at the end of the shift, and they're thrilled. But as a permanent employee,
Nah.
they're like, yeah, nah, I'm good.
Yep.
I've even had that, like, occasional help go not sideways, just be like, why are you here? You're not, you give them like, okay, this is your job, and this is what I need you to do, and then every time you turn around, they're like next to you, and you're like, you're supposed to be like,
We're not here to hang
I
out,
wasn't dicking around. Like, you're here to help. Go help.
Right.
And
That's much
then
to
you see him
Ryan's
getting
point.
some food and sitting down, you'd be like, what the fuck? You serious? Fine, I'll go do the thing that I asked you to help with.
I'm lucky. Most of my friends don't work in this industry, so I don't have to really run into that problem.
Yeah.
They all do the 9 to 5 and don't understand.
Yeah,
this
same
stuff.
here. Yeah, but they'll come in, like I say, when the new place, we have to paint or, move a couple of TVs or,
Yep.
hang something.
The second time he said paint and looked
come
right
in.
at me because I know
Oh,
he's
yeah.
as soon as he gets in Tolson's, he's gonna. Hey kid.
No,
Here's a brush.
paint I can do. Clean up, not so much.
I love
He
painting.
makes
I
a
hate
mess, you
sanding.
fix it.
Yeah, that's why you just don't sand.
I'm with you.
Give that natural wood grain texture. It's rustic.
Oh my
Where's
God.
the new spot?
Pembroke.
Pembroke, nice.
Yeah,
Sweet,
the old
man.
it used to be BBC.
Oh, okay.
Pembroke, yeah. Yep. Excited to see it.
Yeah, sweet, man.
Hopefully soon. By the time, how long is this going to take to air?
So we're not going to talk about our podcasting schedule and entertain our listeners that way. Let's do some questions.
Okay.
Okay. This one is from Renee Havens.
Zellweger.
What?
Renee Zellweger.
Oh, okay. I probably wouldn't get that name even close. I hope you guys understand this because I don't understand this. When one of your servers asks what it's all capitals, so I don't know if it's lit or LIT is. Are you sure you should even be working in a bar? What is that? I don't.
It's lit. Is it like an older bartender? Like,
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Like people say, let's go get lit.
yeah, it's
It
lit.
says ask what a lit is. So I don't know. Is that someone saying, "Oh, that's lit"?
In my slang, it means drunk.
oh,
Yeah.
maybe. Oh,
Mine, it
No,
means
it's
getting
an
high.
abbreviation.
It is. It looks. Yeah.
LIT. I don't know what
Stop
that would
reading my
stand for.
fucking screen.
Lost in
Because
translation.
I'm trying to. No, I lost in. Yeah, I guess it would.
So
be
we
lost
don't
in
even know what the
translation.
question means. Next
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
see, no. Look at the comments. I want to know what LIT means, man.
Yeah. Madison.
Fuck. I'm looking it up.
Demansky. Tonight, one of my supervisors bartending training a new bartender. That's too many words. Made a
Dude, what's up with these people?
made a dirty martini
podcast.
with black olive juice because we didn't have any regular olive
Nice.
juice yet. And he didn't ask me; he just did it. I think this is one of the weirdest, grossest things I've ever witnessed. But am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
That's bold.
I mean,
I
If you're making a martini with a black olive,
gross.
black olive juice. It wasn't even the black olive.
yeah, there's
because that's not even. I feel like pickled
You're an
juice would be
idiot.
better substitute than.
I'm gonna give you a bright spot to this. At
Okay.
least he's being resourceful and trying to figure out solutions.
Well, I think
Nice.
that's
You know what I
kinda
mean?
what-
Instead of
that's
calling
kind
you
of what they're
home.
getting at.
Take the initiative.
I've gotten 5 text messages about stupid shit since I've been here. I'd rather there be a black olive martini over there.
All right, Stephanie Logan. What are your best-selling, most loved side items that are not fried?
I was gonna say fries.
There are side items that aren't fried.
We have
salad.
one.
But,
Yeah, salad.
but they sub for fries.
Yep.
Yeah, and if some people try to pull a one and get like a cup of soup to sub for fries and
Right.
think they're gonna pay the same price, but
Can I have the lettuce garnish as fries instead?
yeah, there you go.
But you know,
chicken egg rolls,
this is,
right?
this is, you know, bar talk. This is not like French restaurant talk. So when you
What do
go
you
to
mean?
then you have like 14 different sides. You
True.
can have the broccoli and the potatoes
Right.
and then this and that.
Cream
So
spinach.
on, all right,
I'll give you one
go ahead.
because I had
No,
barbecue.
that's all right. Just interrupt me. Go ahead.
Sorry. Go on.
No, I was done.
Well, I just thought of one.
The biggest
Well,
interrupter over here.
Me? Really?
No, no.
Oh.
He just calls
Well,
everybody
you know
out.
why you interrupt you? Because you just keep friggin' going and going
True.
and
Yeah,
going.
You gotta pick.
You
your
gotta
spot.
jump in
Something
there.
nobody
Yeah.
cares about.
Do you know you're gonna be doing spousal
Yet you're still
counseling
invited.
today?
But I went for barbecue the other day and mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's a great.
It's
stuff.
good
yeah?
mac and cheese.
Nice.
Mac and cheese is bomb side.
Coleslaw.
Yeah.
You know what people going nuts for
Cornbread.
right now? Fucking Brussels sprouts. You just drop them in the deep fryer, toss them in
No,
some
that's
sweet
old.
chili.
That's
That
fried.
chili, man. Yeah.
fried.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fried, but it's not deep. Yeah.
No, I
whatever.
think fried.
I think they
They're
meant
asking-
French fries.
I thought they meant fries.
Yeah.
Oh, they said that's not fried.
I mean, Brussels sprouts. You can just whatever.
I was gonna say,
Been there, done
yeah,
that,
but
right?
Right.
Everyone's
Been
done
there, done
Brussels
that with the
sprouts.
I
Brussels
don't want to
sprouts.
answer your fucking question anyway.
So if you're at a bar, just get the fries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, you don't want a fry? Say no fries.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't. I think
Salad,
they were
that's
just
the only
I'll take that fried chicken sandwich with no fries because I don't like fried stuff.
I think they were looking for additional
Extra mayo.
like things they could add to their menu, Carl. Not like recommendations.
I
on
thought it
what-
was like, what could you order?
Well,
so
yeah.
I would
mean, yeah, because they want to know what people would order. Like they're not sitting there like sending the email from their phone, being like, "Well, the waitress is sitting here and asking me what my sides are."
So you want to know what you can offer besides
waitress
fries?
would be pissed that they're
Or
waiting this long.
any fried food?
Yeah, it said that is not fried.
Salad, soup.
Salad. Yeah.
That's why I said mac and
coleslaw.
cheese. Yeah, coleslaw is a good one too.
Coleslaw. There
Mashed
you go.
potatoes.
Now Carl's cooking.
We're not mashed potatoes.
I don't either.
I mean, I can squish up your French fries, but
I mean,
That would be amazing. Like table side, like it was guac.
That actually would be really funny.
It'd be super funny.
Table side mashed
with
potatoes.
the mortar
Oh, you want your mashed potatoes?
You could do that. Chives, sour cream, bacon bits.
I hope
cheddar
both your new
cheese,
restaurants have this option.
garlic butter. Oh my god,
Because
that'd be
that's what I
hilarious.
want to do is hire somebody for a table side French fry mash.
Dude, that would be
only
so
that.
Just take a handful and
Not a
crush
bad
it.
Really?
because it's like it's a shtick. Like people would be into that. I think.
Squeeze out all the grease.
Come on Wednesday night for table side mashed potatoes, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Gemma and Nada. Should I have a lawyer look over a commercial lease agreement?
If you ever
Yes.
need a question,
Yeah,
should I have a lawyer
yeah,
do
you
anything
should
that's
have a lawyer.
Yeah, I feel like that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure whoever you're getting this commercial lease from didn't see that post.
Get a lawyer, do it right.
I mean, even if they saw it, like, I feel like that's. Why wouldn't you have a lawyer look at it?
It's going to be more expensive to hire a lawyer after you sign a bad lease.
That's right.
Yep.
I've been
There you
there.
go.
I'm actually
right.
in that right now.
Let's see. Beacon Atelier.
Wow, dude.
Dude, just make the names
This
up.
is
You don't actually
Bacon,
have to do it.
bacon, bacon.
I was gonna say that,
It's
but that's
B-E-Y-C-A,
that is not-
and that's bacon.
that's what I was gonna say. But I'm like, that can't be right.
All right, what's
Anyways,
bacon?
do you hold the pre-shift on a daily basis? What do you talk about? Is there a list to follow every day?
No, if we had a pre-shift every day, it would be just like bashing me.
well, they do that anyway. But that's on
Yeah,
shift.
but why let them get all together?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think it would be a way longer meeting.
No, we
than you
don't.
want
We
it to
don't
be.
do a pre-shift.
I've worked in places that they did it, but we don't do it. Like, we just, because no one comes in at the same time.
Yeah, you just kind of communicate while you're setting the restaurant up, right? Like,
Right.
hey, Joe, did we do new beer menus today? Yep. Or no, but this is the one thing that is changed on the menu. I'm not going to print it for one change.
Yeah.
Oh, what about specials? Yeah, we're out of this, but we got this, and
But
this.
again, we're-
boom, pre-shift.
We're bars, bar
Right.
pubs, taverns, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
We're not that high-end restaurant where, okay, here are all the specials and
Yep.
where it changes every day or
Yeah, move the fish.
yeah.
Yeah.
just-
That should just sort of
It's
happen.
about to
in
go
passing.
bad.
so no.
I did work at a place that required a morning meeting every single day, and it was the most annoying thing. So one day I did mine on zombie preparedness.
Yeah, I think you've talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
When I worked at Olive Garden, they did the pre-shift, but also to check in for your shift, you had to go up and they make you do a wine presentation every table.
Right.
And I was like, I don't want to do this today, so I found a monkey wrench and I did a wine presentation on the monkey wrench.
do you though like have a central place where people can go, like a whiteboard or something, where it's like they can check in for the day and be like, oh, okay, the table service mashed potato fries are 86 today, or
Well, yeah. I mean, if we're 86 and something, the manager on duty or whoever it may be that's in charge is supposed to tell anybody that comes in for work, even though if you have a staggered shift.
Yeah.
They're supposed to check in with that person and say, hey, by the way, 86 this and that. I don't have a board, number one, that the
Because no one will read
customers
it.
can see.
yeah. Oh no, it shouldn't be where the
Yeah,
customer.
you shouldn't. And if we have it in the kitchen, a lot of times they're not looking in the kitchen either. So whether it's somebody in the kitchen communicating with the servers out front or a manager out front communicating with the servers and bartenders to say, hey, we're 86 French fries today because we're out of French fries, you're still going to have that one person that puts
Oh yeah.
order of French fries.
Oh, yeah. No one listens.
This-
I've had people like literally told them 30 seconds ago, like, we're out of this.
Yeah.
And they ring it. I'm like, what the fuck did we just talk about? Our computer
Every
system
time.
is the best though.
Or you get this, okay, we're out of tomatoes. So there's no tomatoes on the burgers, no nothing.
Yep.
And then somebody will order a salad.
Extra tomatoes.
Extra tomatoes, and they'll say, oh, I just thought the tomatoes on the burgers were 86.
all tomatoes.
It's unbelievable.
Wow.
We have no chicken. Oh, so can I put in a chicken sandwich?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
You put counts in your POS? Is that what you were about to say?
No,
or-
so we have toast, and like we go to a late night menu after like 10 o'clock, and our old system you could still ring in everything, but on toast after 10, all those buttons go away.
That's
So
awesome.
there's no fucking option for them to not pay attention and
shit.
ring in like a hamburger at 11 o'clock at night.
And how many times do they run in the kitchen saying, I can't find the button for this. Can I just put
Oh,
this in?
every time.
Because I always do. I'm like, oh, in 5 minutes, the kitchen's done, and they'll still try and do it.
Yep.
Yep.
Tanisha Slankard,
What is your champagne to juice ratio in a mimosa?
Good save, Andy.
75-25?
I'm not
Really?
even
I do 50-50. I don't know. What do you
What's
guys
my
do?
champagne juice
Juice.
ratio?
Yeah, can't you hear
In a
me when I
mimosa.
speak?
No, I just think it's like a weird question.
No, like
It's 75-25.
so
My
you
guy.
does- Yeah, he does 75-25 too.
75 champagne.
Maybe even a little more.
Yeah,
I do 50-50. These people waking
Saving
up,
a
they need
buck.
their vitamin C.
You need that heartburn.
That's why I don't work behind the bar. We're talking 75 champagne, 25.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Yeah. That's what I
I wanted to
assumed.
clarify for bacon. Oh, whoever just asked that question.
It looked like bacon, right? Just
It was
felt-
definitely B-E-Y-C-A. Yeah, and that's
stupid.
bacon, dude. That's
Yeah.
just
Yo,
bacon
listeners,
spelled a different
guys.
way. That's like someone's Instagram handle spelled bacon, like B-A-Y.
Joshua Slawinski.
Yes.
Just
Slow.
curious, what is your policy for call-outs? Is there a limit? Is there a time frame?
Not allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not really allowed to call out.
Gotta find somebody.
That
Gotta get
hasn't.
somebody to
it's-
cover your
yeah.
shit.
Got a little
I
different.
I was
though,
gonna
with-
say, has that
There is a
changed?
difference.
Yeah, with COVID, it's changed.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of like everybody else on the staff kind of realizes, like, at least it feels that way, I would say, at least in the kitchen. Like, Corey had COVID a couple weeks ago, and we all just kind of were like, all right, I guess it's our turn to step up because
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're all going to eventually get it and need someone to bail us out. It should be that way all the time.
I was gonna say, don't you feel like it should be that? Because
it is and it
regardless of COVID or not COVID, I don't want someone prepping my food that has a common cold. I don't want them prepping my food if they have the flu.
Somebody-
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
you're sick, stay home.
Yeah.
Why is
Stomach
that?
virus or something?
Yeah, I'm not saying they have to come in sick. Like that's never the wanted thing. And it's like if they come in if they're hungover, they're coming in. I don't
Oh,
give a
that's
fuck.
Tough shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that
But
to
I think
yourself.
this is a situation where you deal with it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody calls in sick. If it's a Wednesday night, maybe you can suck it up with the staff that you have.
Correct.
If it's a Saturday night and you got to scramble, then maybe service is a little slow because you're short staffed. I mean, you just got to deal with it as it comes.
Yeah.
Correct.
You can't plan for something that might not happen.
Right.
And if it happens at the last minute, which sometimes it is because they're like, oh, should I go to work? Should I go to work? I shouldn't go to work. And then they call up, then, I mean, you just got to deal with it at the time.
And the problem with setting,
And that's why you have managers, to manage the situation.
yeah,
Correct.
and if you set a policy, say, if you have 3 call-outs in a month, that's it, you're fired. And you have that policy written, and everyone who's hired, you have 3 call-outs in a month, and that's it.
Yeah, but then
And-
people will use them.
Well, right. Yeah, it's not tallying them up.
But in the same aspect, you could have someone who has 4 legitimate call-outs, and it's legitimate, and it's not their fault, and they're the best employee, you now have to fire them.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You don't want
That's
that.
correct.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way.
But then you're
Because if you
wishy-washy.
don't, yeah, because
Then
if you
you're
don't, then
wishy-washy,
yeah,
and then
that's
you're
worse.
like, well, you called in, 3 times and I fired you. You can sue me because this person next to you called in 4 times and you didn't fire them.
Yep.
So what's the difference?
yeah, we had
So we I'm sorry to interrupt,
Oh,
but
sorry.
what we do is we don't say, give me a doctor's note saying that you were sick. We say, if you're sick, I need a doctor's note saying it's okay for you to come back.
Correct.
Yep.
So don't come back without a doctor's note.
Yeah.
Things change real quick.
Yeah.
yeah.
All of a sudden they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just had an itchy throat. I
Right,
slept
right.
with the window open last
Stomach,
night.
you get stomach bug a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, even in reality, like
Bug.
sometimes I'm sick and I don't want to work, but I'm not sick enough to go to the doctor.
Right.
So it's like I do get that wishy-washy, but I mean, you could have someone legit have a shit month. And
I think I love things being black and white, but I'm sorry, in this industry, when you're working in a smaller restaurant, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
It's way more sort of loose. I think if you're in your restaurant and working in your restaurant enough, you know when someone's full of shit or when they're really sick. You know their character. So like, someone
if you
you can
don't,
almost
it's your fault.
predict
Yeah.
when someone's gonna call out. Like we have employees. It's a Sunday, and we're like, me and Ryan are in the kitchen. We're like, how long you think before so and so tries to get someone to cover their shift tonight? And it'll be like a half hour later that group text goes out. You just know. You know what I mean?
You're gonna notice now that you have younger staff that they post what they're doing the night before on their Instagram.
Oh, yeah,
stories.
Snapchat.
And then-
I'm on
yeah.
Snapchat
You'll
now,
see-
baby.
yeah. And then they're like,
So
I'll call them like, well,
stupid.
I saw you were out till 4 a.m. at the club, and you
Yep.
can't make it for your noon shift today.
Yeah, stop by 7-Eleven, grab yourself a bottle of water. I'll see you in an hour.
Yep.
But then as business owners, you have to treat everybody the same.
right. Yeah. you
That's the
can't.
toughest part
Yeah.
because you know that employee X has never been out and they're going to be out 3 times this month because,
COVID, mom
for true
dies.
reasons.
Yeah.
and then the one that for the last 3 months, took their 3 days. Every month is going to take another 3 days. You know, that's when you get into the...
Yeah, it's tough putting a number on it.
You can't put a number on. That's what I'm saying. You just kind of go, like Karl originally said, you go day to day.
Yep.
You know all your employees' characters when you're working in a smaller spot. You know what you're gonna get after a certain amount of time, and you police it as it comes along. And you know, if you're working in a small restaurant and you're expecting everyone to be treated exactly the same, then you're gonna be very disappointed, because you hire based on personality and you have to manage based on personality. And you know it. You try to reward the most consistent people, the most reliable people in other ways, because you know they're not getting the same leeway as that other guy that maybe is a good worker and keeps his job because it's hard to fill that role, but isn't the most reliable. You know, and that's just the way I police it personally. And I think, especially now when it's so hard to hire, I think that's the best way to do it. You can't just axe somebody for something small, because then you're fucked. You're screwing everybody else over when they come in because they're short-handed every day. So you gotta balance all that out too.
I think another factor that's tough is most people in this industry don't treat it as a career. You know, it's more of like a stop on the way for them. You know what I mean?
Second job.
Right, or a second job or something like that, where, you know, if it's, you know, if your job's in jeopardy of being lost, or you're going to be fired or something, that, you know, they don't really care as much because they have another job to fall back on, or, you know, it's just not, you know, it's just not their top priority, you know?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point.
Amy Lou, do you charge a percentage gratuity fee for groups larger than a specific number?
So we have answered this one this year yet? Because we do it every year.
I feel tipping is one of the things I think we address repeatedly over and over again.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never a right or wrong answer, I guess. Karl, that's a good one for you, because you can have bigger parties in here.
If you have bigger groups, I believe it is against the law to force a tip to put it on. So you could say parties of 8 get a 15% gratuity automatically. That's illegal. You can't force somebody to give you a gratuity.
You can't do like a service charge?
You can do a service charge.
That's what's the difference.
You got to name it something different.
Yeah.
The difference is you're saying gratuity.
Right.
You can't force someone to give you a gratuity.
Right.
If you post it though on your menu, I think
You can post it on
That's
your menu
like
all
your
you
policy.
want, but
Yeah, they fight
you
you on
can't
it.
force people
Yeah.
to tip.
We used to do
You
that
can't
when me and Rye worked at this big banquet restaurant. We would sometimes have like parties of 30 sit in the dining room, and there was always that mandatory. I think they only did 15. I don't think they did 18. But there was always that debate by all the bus kids, because we always want to know what the waitress made.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
we were
yeah.
getting tipped out. So that waitress was like, ooh, there's 30 people. They're doing 15. Ooh, they're all getting lobster. Like, that's easily like a $2,000 tab. Like, we're going to get like some money tonight. But like, oh yeah, but they don't have to tip the 15%. It's just suggested on the bill.
Right.
That's been in a sort of a debate for years now. I don't know. I don't necessarily know the answer to that.
No.
Well, let me ask: is the standard percentage gone up? Because I feel like, you know, when you go through using like Square and you're paying, there's usually like 3 buttons of general percentages, and then there's like a, you know, unique percentage or whatever. I feel like it used to be like 15, 20, 25, and now I feel like 20% is the low one.
Yeah, it's like 18, 20, 25, 30 now. Like,
Yeah.
there's no option for 15 anymore.
Yeah, but I even feel like some I've seen that don't even have 20. Like, it
Right.
starts at 25. Like, is that... I understand, like, inflation and shit.
Yeah, but so the prices are going up too. So if it's a higher percentage of a higher bill because prices have been raised,
I understand that, but
the
not
fuck.
every...
Yeah, I know. I was going to say the same thing.
A lot of people
see
don't
it
get
that way.
percentages.
Well, I
Yeah.
saw a report came out, I think, 2 months ago, and they said pre-COVID and post-COVID, their tips have only been, it went up 2%. It went up from, I think, 19% to 21%.
Yeah.
So it went up a little bit, but not a real lot. Not that I expect it to go up. I think
Right.
if you're going to make 20% and your business is running well and all your employees are getting the right amount of tables, and I think that's great. I think they're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of part-time jobs you can get there for $30 an hour, and that's a lot of people are making in this industry.
Yeah.
It's $30 an hour up front. So if they start complaining about tips, then
And it's one of those
break
things.
it down for them. All of a sudden, you're like, hey, go work somewhere else for $30 an hour. See you later.
Yeah.
You know how many people I can get to work here for $30 an hour?
you'd be shoveling shit, dude. Good
right.
luck.
But it's also like one of those things, like, people don't understand percentages.
Right.
Where it's like, they're like, oh, prices should go up, I should get 25%. If prices go up, even at 20%, you're getting more money.
Then you're hiring non-professionals.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, to me, is you just hired a 16-year-old kid who doesn't know what he's doing.
Math's hard.
Math is hard.
Yeah.
All All right, I'm leaving. Bye.
Oh, all right.
That's right.
Dan, do you want to do your last call?
Yeah. So, fuck you, daylight savings. It ruined my day yesterday because I got home at 5 o'clock in the morning, which was already late. But it's bullshit. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Bye.
So that was Dan Mahoney.
I thought you were going to yell, anything's possible! Kevin Garnett day. Later, Dan.
Peace. All right, this one is from Jessica Pagan. So Friday is Employee Appreciation Day. It's my first year with them, and must say that I have the best crew you can ask for. You want to fight them over that, Jordan? With that being said, what can I gift them to show how much I appreciate their hard work?
Parking passes.
Hey, listen. It was a big flex.
I don't know. It's up to you. Like,
You shouldn't have to gift your employees for working hard. They should be working hard.
I disagree.
Right.
I think in a little incentivization, and everyone loves a pat on the back sometimes, but a vocal pat on the back really kind of has a very short expiration date. And these days, money's tight for everybody. Not even going to bring up gas. I just brought up gas. But prices are going to continue to go up, and people are working because they're stressed and broke. So if you can show your appreciation somehow by helping them with that, maybe find something that's a tax write-off, get them Amazon gift cards, something like that, and then you can write that off at the end of the year, or giving them a raise or whatever. That's fine. I agree with Karl in that aspect. You shouldn't be given a raise rewarded for doing a good job. You should be doing a good job anyway. But throughout the year, a little remembrance or a little appreciation, acknowledgement that you're appreciating them showing up to work every day, especially now when it's so hard to hire. I think this is the 5th time I said that this podcast. I don't think it's a bad idea. Do something you can write off, though, so at least you can get credit for it from the IRS.
No, you should always do something you can write off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'll disagree with you, Karl. I think you should definitely reward your people for working hard, because some people will just come in and do the bare minimum.
So to play devil's advocate,
Sure.
I only reward the people that are working hard
No, you
No,
reward
because
everybody.
I'm not
Yeah.
rewarding the person that's just going to come in and do the bare minimum.
True.
Why would I reward that? That's, to me, is silly.
Well, if your bare minimum standard is enough to keep the place running and thriving, then that should be okay. The people that go above and beyond, you can do something separate for them.
That's what I'm
another
saying.
day.
So you're
Yeah.
doing something separate. You're just acknowledging the people that are working harder than everybody else in your business, I guess is the question.
No. Well, the question is, it's Employee Appreciation Day, so it would be across the board.
Yeah, I would reward loyalty. I think is the
Yeah.
most important thing.
Well, you could bake that in. So if you are here 6 months or less, you get a $5 Dunkin'
That's the
Donuts
generation
card.
of everybody gets a trophy. That's to me,
Right,
doesn't
right.
work for me. Doesn't work for me.
But
You know what I do? Every
What?
time you come in here, I pay you.
Yeah.
That's why you work.
But
here.
does that build loyalty?
It has so far.
Okay.
yeah, I handle it a little differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody does.
I
And I think, if you get a huge restaurant that's making, $10 million a year, you've got those funds to do that.
sure.
If you're a smaller place, and obviously you're going to have a smaller amount of employees,
Right.
but it's harder to do that, to reward, and then all of a sudden you have to reward everybody, and maybe some people you're just having in there because you're having a hard time hiring.
Yeah.
And if it was an employer's world out there, you could hire anybody that you want. Some of those people wouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's more important to do it as a small business.
I'm
though,
not
'cause you're
gonna-
competing against those big
That's
guys.
fine, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna I'm not gonna reward the people that I almost don't want working here.
Yeah.
I think it has to go like a little behind the scenes. If you're going to do something a little bit extra for the people who are going above and beyond for you, you can't do it in front of everybody. Right. 'Cause
Oh,
that
for
could
sure,
it
you
could
cannot do
backfire.
that.
You cannot do that at all.
You see the people who work
Listen,
their ass
it's
off.
gonna backfire no matter what.
Yeah, no shit.
Because
Yeah,
in this
'cause people are
industry,
gonna talk.
nothing's a secret.
Yeah.
Well, not just
seriously.
that too. Like, it becomes an expectation for those people you're rewarding to. You hope it doesn't, but and you want it to be like a
That's
point of
correct.
motivation. So, like, I'll use
That's
an
correct.
example. And this will be out in the public, but I don't care. The Saturday night crew, the last 3 weeks, the 3 guys that work in my kitchen, it's the hardest shift of the week. It's practically a double, and they're putting up a volume of food that Speedball's never done before. So 3 weeks in a row in succession, or was it? It was just 2 weeks. in a
2
row.
weeks in a row, yeah.
They broke the all-time food sales record 2 weeks in a row. No issues,
Without
no
breaking a
setbacks,
sweat.
without breaking a sweat, and it's just a really hard shift. Now they're making the same amount of money as the guy that comes in and works on a Monday night and does half the amount of work per hour. And I don't want that. So like, I rewarded them. I said, you know what? You went over this benchmark of food sales. You guys should get a cut of that because you had to work harder for me to get here. I made more money. You should make more money. So I throw them a little bit of cash. I'm like, here you go, guys. Keep up the good work. Next time you beat that record, now they're motivated. They want to sell food, hopefully, and I'll do it again, and that's fine. I don't mind doing that. If I'm making more money because they're working harder, I should do that. So
See, now, I'm not arguing the point. Mm-hmm. The point I would argue is I'm that Monday night guy saying I didn't even have the opportunity to get that. I could have done that if I worked Saturdays, but I don't. I work Mondays.
Nobody's
Plenty
going
of
to work
opportunity.
Saturday, though.
Plenty of opportunity to pick
The
up Saturdays
opportunity
and
is
every
hey,
weekend.
Jordan,
Yeah.
Hey, Jordan, if you brought in that amount of business on a Monday and I did it, I would have gotten it.
I would say
Work a
plenty of
Saturday,
opportunity
bro.
to work a Saturday night when
maybe-
that business automatically comes in.
Maybe he's got a second job and he's already working. That's why he's working during the week for you. Maybe
Well-
he can't work Saturday nights. Maybe the situation is that he can't come in, but that employee cannot have that opportunity to make that bonus just because of the day that you do all that business. And I'm not saying those people shouldn't get rewarded, if
Yep.
that's what you think, but don't not reward the people that could have done it. They just don't have the opportunity to do it.
Well, Speedwell's
Doesn't
not.
make
If
sense
they have
to me.
2 jobs, Speedwell's not their priority.
Doesn't-
Correct.
doesn't-
You know what
doesn't
I
make
mean?
sense
But
to
if
me.
somebody who's working full time and works the Saturday, works the toughest shifts throughout the week, and makes Speedwell their priority, they should have that opportunity first. You know, and we do have people who work other jobs. You know, and
Yeah, I mean,
will
most
work
in the
at
industry
Speedwell
has
9
two
hours a
jobs.
week. You know what I'm saying? And they don't work the hardest shifts,
Right.
and they make what they make because of what they offer us.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So
I think in that aspect, and Karl, you all great points. All great points. I think we're in a situation now at Speedwell. I wouldn't do that if I felt it alienated somebody else. Like, it's not favoritism, it's more of an acknowledgement. And those things are considered. I'm not favoring the 3 guys that work Saturday night because I like them. They're all 3 of them are full time.
You heard that he doesn't like the guys that work Saturday night.
Rise
Fucking
one of them.
sitting right here, bro.
It's because I don't want Speedwell to stop thriving on Saturday nights, and I want to keep beating that record. And I understand to do that, I need those 3 guys that I have right now to be able to do that. And I want to keep their spirits up. I don't want them getting defeated. So me, it's more of a maintenance. Like, it's taking care of the engine. Like, you got to give it an oil change every once in a while. You rode it to the freaking ground. So that's the way I'm looking at it. The Wednesday night guy that works, 12 hours a week, I'm not worried about him getting worn out. Like, your reward is you get to come in, punch out, and not think about Speedwell. You know what I mean? And not leave with calluses on your feet and worried about have to get up at 7 in the morning and come back and do it all over again on Sunday. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. Again, back to the original point, case-by-case basis. You got to manage your employees by individuals, not across the
And
board.
as you can see, every company has their own philosophies.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
And I'll tell you, as an employee, I've worked in places that gave big bonuses, places that gave little bonuses. It wasn't the bonus that made me quit. It was the workload and how you're generally treated.
Right.
If the workload is unattainable and they don't acknowledge that, like, it's one thing when you're like behind, in the weeds and everyone's like, oh, it sucked, it was really, but when you're doing the work of 30 people with 12 and they're like, okay, now you need to do the work for 35 people, that's the shit that makes you leave.
Yeah, that's the corporate thing.
Yeah.
You see that all the time. How much can I squeeze out of this? You
Right.
know what I mean? And then they'll send you, instead of like paying you more, they'll be like, oh, go to this yoga class and learn more mindfulness. There's
we bought you coffee.
yeah,
today.
exactly.
And like, thanks.
Like, fuck you, dude. That's
Yeah.
that's basically you saying I'm working harder than I should be and you're too cheap to pay out and acknowledge
Yeah.
that. Like,
And I'll tell you, I left my corporate big box job not because they did anything with my pay. They lowered the starting rate for my position. And I called my boss and I said, just so you know, I'm looking for a new job. And he's like, this has nothing to do with you. I'm like, it does. Because you're now telling me that the job I do is worth less than what it started. And I'm doing 6 times as much when I started.
yeah.
So I'm like, fuck that. And then I went somewhere else and got paid more for doing way less. And
the
it's,
American dream.
yeah, dude, way less. And it's just like, that's the shit that pushes people away,
Yeah. Again, it just goes back to your own, your business. You know what works, what doesn't work, and, and everybody has their own philosophy. But I think,
But I'm also going to say, if you are genuinely appreciative of your staff, do like the wife flowers thing. Yeah, you have to get them flowers on Valentine's Day, but flowers on just Tuesday,
suddenly they're like, oh,
Yeah, right.
you know. So if you want to appreciate them when it's not Employee Appreciation Day.
Exactly.
When it's not obligated to. Karl.
Nice way to wrap that one up and bring it back into the question.
Yeah, you like
I
that
forgot
one?
that was a question.
Alright.
Employee Appreciation Day.
This is like 102 episodes. We kind of know what we're doing. I mean, minus that whole boring part in the middle where we talked about the schedule of the podcast.
And you know, super inside baseball, sometimes people like to see behind the scenes.
We can cut that.
Yeah, we can cut that out. Yeah. Fish has some work. All right, so that's last call.
Last call.
Let's go.
Last call is the part where we go around the table and people can plug whatever they like. So let's go. Let's start with Ryan. Put Ryan in the
Oh man,
hot seat.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, naturally, I'd want to plug Speedwell, but I'm sure it's not 100 times. But I just want to plug the town of Plymouth, man. Town of Plymouth's awesome. Happy to be a part of, be a part of the community, working in town, meeting the people. People like you and Karl, and all the friends I've made in Plymouth. It's just been awesome, man. And just happy to be in town, man. Well, looking forward to moving to the area soon. So, town of Plymouth, you guys rule. Thank you.
So apparently Ryan's running for office. Karl, you're up.
All right, I'll push the bar and restaurant expo down in Vegas that we're
Yep.
going to be at next week.
Yep.
Vegas.
Vegas,
The way
baby.
the way you say Vegas.
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 Should be a good time. I'm thinking about, becoming rich. Just got to figure
Hope
out a
you do.
system. I'm going to read about it, how to steal from the casino and get away with it. I think
Count
there's
cards.
something out there,
And
So
watch
he was going to put
Yeah.
New World Tavern on red the second he goes.
Yeah, you got one to fall back on. So,
He's going to go watch Ocean's
But we're going to be
11.
down there, and we're going to be doing a podcast down there, a live podcast with a live studio audience.
Yep. 2
Badass.
o'clock on...
Excuse me?
I was...
2 o'clock on Wednesday. And we are podcasting with
Chef Duffy. I thought you were looking at
This
him
is mine.
to help.
This is mine.
You looked like you didn't know his name. I was trying to help you out.
Chef Brian Duffy
Oh, nicely done.
Yep.
from Vegas.
Philly. From Philly.
No, it should be a good time. So if you're going to be down there and you listen to this podcast, come in the audience and I'll sign your breast.
hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Can you sexually harass people through a podcast? Is that possible?
If anyone could do it, it's Karl.
Jordan, over to you.
I am going to shamelessly plug the Speedwell Tavern's Hops and Hots Fest, the wing competition we do every year, but we haven't done it in 2 years because of the pandemic. We raise money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association of America through the Plymouth Fire Department, Local 1768. The wing competition will be April 10th. The hottest wings we've ever made. A bunch of poor schlubs sit down and eat those wings and suffer for a couple days to raise money for muscular dystrophy. It's a great time. We go double our capacity, but the firemen are there, so we get away with it. And raise a lot of money for a great cause. So please come out if you can. April 10th.
Nice. I am going to plug, if you live in New Bedford or Pembroke, you should keep an eye out for these new places. In Pembroke, there's Tolson's Tap and Tavern. And in New Bedford, there's 6s and 7s, both opening soon, right?
Thanks,
Soon?
buddy. Yes, sir.
And, support friends. And, doesn't have to be in Plymouth, Ryan. But, check them out. Make sure you draw on Jordan's new bathroom. I had to do it because Dan's not here.
Hey, listen, Hunt's my partner's a lot less patient about that. I wouldn't do that. He's got guns, dude.
So check it out. I'm sure they're going to be great, and I'll have to stop into both of them. And if you want to contact us, email bartalkcast@gmail.com. You can find us on all the socials at bartalkcast, and we'll see you guys in like 2 weeks. Oh, no. The next one's going to be Vegas.
Right? Next week.
We'll see you guys in Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas.
See ya.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/inebriart to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at inebriart.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at inebriart or at inebriart6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebriart, and all the other shows on the Inebriart Network, which you can find at inebriart.com. Thanks again for listening.